Hey everyone, I'm Marsha. Thank you for tuning in to my channel. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing. So on today's video, I want to share a major update with you guys. So if you've been following me here on this channel, or if you follow me on my Instagram page, then you know that I recently decided to become a certified yoga teacher. So I have a whole nother video on why I decided to go to yoga school, which is what I like to call it, but it's really yoga teacher training. But I have a whole nother video on why I decided to do this. So feel free to go check that out. But this video is to give you an update on my recent graduation. And so I'm so excited to give you an update on the entire process, my thoughts on everything, the style of yoga I learned, and then my future steps, my next steps. So if you would like to find out, just keep watching. All right, guys, so I attended yoga teacher training here in Nashville at a yoga studio called Kali Yuga Yoga. And it was an awesome program. I have several things that I liked, a few things that were hard for me that I will share in this video with you. But ultimately, I finished. So I have my certificate here. So excited to actually graduate. So it was a 3.5 month program. So it started in August and it ended at the middle of November. So I graduated on November 15th. So about 3.5 months. Each yoga teacher training is different. It's unique to whatever studio that you take your training through. So the one that I went to, it was a 3.5 month training, and it was classes on Mondays and Wednesday nights. So that worked out for me because, of course, I'm a full-time worker in corporate America, and so I just couldn't go during the day. So nighttime classes worked out perfect for me. There were some Sunday afternoon classes or Sunday workshops as well. But ultimately, you had the Monday and Wednesday night classes. Then on top of that, we had to do elective hours or take elective classes on our own time, which is basically just us going to different yoga classes, taking different styles of yoga on our own. Several homework assignments. There was homework every single week. There was books to read, chapters to read every single week. So ultimately, it was just a really jam-packed program because they were trying to incorporate so much into 3.5 months, which, you know, part of me can appreciate because, you know, who likes stretching anything out? You know, I mean, sometimes it's good to just, you know, cram as much stuff as you can in to get it over with. And sometimes it's good to kind of stretch it out. But I think if I would have took a program that was longer, like, you know, some programs are like over 9 months, and you just go to a class once a month and, you know, it's kind of not as stressful, I think I probably wouldn't have learned as much or retained as much information. I don't know. I don't really know. But this program that I took was 3.5 months of just packed information, classes, workshops, all in 3.5 months. So then there were the logistics. And so this is the part that I did not like. And I guess I kind of went in knowing that it was going to be a struggle, but I had no clue how much of a struggle it was. So, you know, I work 8 to 5. My classes started at 6 and they were way across town, like way across town. So I had to, you know, leave work, pick up my daughter from daycare, drop her off at home with my husband or with, you know, my sister-in-law, my mother-in-law, you know, somebody, drop her off and then rush to yoga class. That process twice a week for 3.5 months was dreadful. But I'm glad I got it over with, and I'm glad I stuck with it because I absolutely love this program and I love this studio. So I'm glad it worked out, but it was hard. It was hard, you guys. So that was probably the part that I hated, honestly, the most about it. Luckily, it doesn't have anything to do with the actual program. But the logistics and trying to organize all that twice a week was just, that was too much. It was just too much. All right, now on to the style of yoga that I learned. The particular style that we focused on was Hatha yoga or Hatha yoga, but it's spelled Hatha, and it simply refers to the physical practice of yoga. So actually physically performing the asanas or the yoga poses or yoga postures, but the actual physical practice of yoga. So sometimes it's considered a general category for yoga, but the benefit of it is that you learn so much about the actual poses and the breakdown of the poses. One of my favorite parts was something that we did every week, which was asana clinics. And that's where we physically broke down each pose, and I mean we broke it down to the benefits, the health benefits of the pose, the proper alignment to get into the pose, which is crucial. Like that part is crucial, and it's hard to learn that anywhere else other than yoga teacher training. So the physical alignment, the actual health benefits, and some of the modifications, because I mean, let's face it, everybody, you know, is not super flexible and can't get into all of the poses. I know I can't, not yet anyway. And so it was good to actually know that, hey, it's okay. You know, there's modifications to almost every pose. And, you know, that's good to learn from a teacher standpoint, because, you know, I can instruct my students like, hey, if that doesn't feel good to you, then feel free to do this, which may be a little bit easier on your joints or your limbs or whatever, your back. And so I love that. I really, really love that part of teacher training. So at the end of our class, or at the end of our teacher training, we had a huge graduation celebration. And this is where we just got together, just us and the yoga students or my yoga classmates and our teachers, and we got together and we just, you know, had a little small ceremony. And then we got our teaching certificates. Oh my gosh, did I get makeup on mine? So we got our teacher certificates, and we just had like a little small luncheon, and it was just very intimate, very special. I gained 7, you know, sisters, yoga sisters from this training, and we're all, you know, very close. We have our own text message, group text message chain, and we still keep in contact with each other, and I love that. So what's next for me is that I'm gonna start teaching, of course. So one of the things, another thing that I liked about yoga teacher training is that it doesn't force you to become a teacher. If you just wanted to take yoga teacher training just to gain all of that knowledge and just to help your own personal practice, your own personal home practice, or when you go to yoga classes, then that's perfectly fine, and there was no pressure. Which was half of the reasoning for me for taking yoga teacher training. It was just to, you know, better my own practice and understand not only the history, but how to actually properly do the yoga poses. So that was half of it for me too. But the other half was to eventually become a teacher. And so I am going to start teaching. Actually, it looks like I might start teaching this month, you guys, in January. At Kali Yoga. So that's where I took my teacher training at, and I'm going to be teaching there. How special is that? So if you're interested, I will put the information down below in the description box. That is where I will be teaching starting out. I do plan to eventually start teaching maybe at a few other places. So please, if you're not already connected with me on Instagram, please do so. Follow me on Instagram, because that's where I will share each time I am teaching somewhere, whether it's at Kali Yoga or a different studio. I'll share the information on my Instagram page. So make sure you are following me there. I didn't want to make this video super long, so if I missed anything, I apologize. It was so much to this program and so much information that we learned. I highly recommend it for anybody who is interested in deepening their yoga practice, whether you want to become a teacher or not. But yeah, it was amazing. So thank you, Kali Yoga for my training. Shout out to all my yoga sisters and my teachers. And I think that's it. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Feel free to hit that little bell icon that's right beside the subscribe button, because that way you'll be notified each time I drop a new video. So that's it, you guys. Until next time, see you later.